No one is ever going to admit that the culture of their organisation is inexorably geared to low performance. There's an unspoken pact that the most senior leaders will keep up the ruse that everyone is performing extremely well. Welcome to Moments with Marty, your short, sharp shot of leadership insight to help you stay on track between our weekly episodes of the No Bullshit Leadership podcast. The proverbial high-performing team has become a leadership cliche. I cannot count the number of leaders who claim to have built a high-performing team, often despite objective evidence to the contrary. But what if the culture of the organisation that you're leading in is actually a low-performance culture? How would you know when all the rhetoric coming from above is about high performance? No one is ever going to admit that the culture of their organisation is inexorably geared to low performance. There's an unspoken pact that the most senior leaders will keep up the ruse that everyone is performing extremely well. Now let's face it, to say anything else would be impolite. It's inordinately easier to get away with low performance in a non-competitive environment. It just is. Why? Because there are no market forces to keep the senior leadership honest. Government agencies come to mind, as do businesses that operate in regulated monopoly markets like the companies that deliver water and electricity and transportation infrastructure. There's no performance imperative because there's no alternative source of those products and services. Now often, this encourages the leadership to focus on increasing their operating budget allocation and protecting the status quo. Don't get me wrong, there are always great people in these organisations with strong work ethic and high standards and a desire to be the best they can be for their stakeholders. Unfortunately though, they exist in a culture that is, by its very nature, destined for low performance. Now I'm not saying this is the exclusive domain of government agencies and regulated monopolies by any means. It's a matter of degree, and like many things, there's a range of performance settings between the two bookends of a continuum. But without competition to keep an organisation sharp, it's really easy to see how the sheer insularity of its operating parameters can make it fat, dumb and happy. How would you know if you were leading in a culture where better performance wasn't the ultimate objective? In episode 239, Leading in a Low Performance Culture, I outlined 10 telltale signs to look for. Here's a few of them. The first sign of low performance is the lack of focus on results. Instead, the focus is on processes and rules. The second sign is that the culture adopts an extremely lax standard for individual performance. There are no consequences for the choices people make about their performance or behaviour. There's almost nothing that won't be tolerated in the name of kindness and understanding. The third sign is resistance to change. We do it this way for a reason, and if you don't agree, it could be that you don't understand it well enough. Either that, or you're simply not one of us. And the fourth telltale sign is the frequent rationalisation for all of the above issues in an effort to mask the performance weaknesses in righteous nobility. We care about our people. We're an inclusive organisation. Everyone has a place here. We're a family. We put people before profits. Sound familiar? If you do find yourself in one of these organisations, don't worry. You can still make a difference. You can still have a great career. You can still face complex problems and interesting challenges. You can still be a great leader for your team. But you're unlikely to ever experience that deep joy and satisfaction that comes from leading a crack team of high performers who are operating at their peak. The organisation's lack of appetite for change will eventually drive most of the high performers out. Now, the only way to counter this is to create an island of excellence in your team and give them the gift of strong leadership. Even if the people above you don't share your level of commitment to striving for the best possible outcomes. For more depth on this insight, have a listen to episode 239 of the No Bullshit Leadership podcast, Leading in a Low Performance Culture. We'll leave a link in the show notes. I really hope you enjoyed this moment and that it gives you that little extra spark to be a no bullshit leader.